Welcome to Trojans Live, the exclusive USC Trojans Coaches Show.
He's in the end zone. Touchdown, USC.
Behind-the-scenes insights and breaking news from interim head coach Ed Orgeron, Andy Enfield, and the student-athletes who play for the Cardinal and Gold.
Throws over the middle, complete Marquise Lee. He's got it at the 5 in the end zone. Touchdown, USC.
Trojans Live is brought to you by
BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Visit SoCalBMW.com today to find a BMW center near you. By Valvoline, charge on, but visit Valvoline Instant Oil Change first. Home of the drive-thru only change and proud sponsor of USC football. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for special discounts and offers. By Allstate Insurance, mayhem is everywhere. Start protecting yourself from mayhem with Allstate Insurance. By Western Exterminator, providing all-star termite and pest control you can trust for over 90 years. Western Exterminator, the final word in pest control.
Now, here are Jordan Moore and John Jackson.
Hello and welcome to Trojans Live, presented by your Southern California BMW Centers on KFWB News Talk 980. We are live at the lab for a special Wednesday night show ahead of Friday night's big tilt in Corvallis as the Trojans get set to take on the Beavers. We're going to talk to interim head coach Ed Orgeron, a couple of his players here too, wide receiver Darius Rogers and outside linebacker J.R. Tavai. Plus, we'll talk all things NCAA with Dave Roberts, the USC's VP of Compliance. So get your questions ready for that. And finally, we're going to bring in the new head coach of the Women of Troy, women's basketball legend Cynthia Cooper is in the building. I am Jordan Moore alongside John Jackson and JJ. You know better than I the physicality of football. Please put into perspective for everyone listening the courage that the Trojans showed beating Utah, so many men down, and then, of course, obviously the microcosm, the heroics of Deion Bailey suiting up at halftime.
Yeah, I loved everything about that game, last weekend. I think the fact that the Trojans approached the game, despite who was playing, they approached the game the same way. It wasn't like the game plan was tailored around guys or they were avoided throwing to certain guys. They kept the same game plan in place. And I think when you do that, it empowers the guys that are filling in to feel like they need to step up and do that. And you saw that, with Devon Flournoy, he was outstanding. As you mentioned, Deion Bailey made a heroic comeback at halftime. So with all that being said, I think that, these guys sort of rallied around each other and sort of understanding the importance. I think you're going to see more guys come back because of it.
Yeah, and the man who sets the tone for all that is sitting right here with us. This segment with the coach is brought to you by your Southern California BMW Centers. Visit SoCalBMW.com today to find a BMW center near you. Let's bring in Ed Orgeron. And, Coach, we're talking about Deion Bailey. I'll read you something he said this week. He said, I felt like all that he's done for us, talking about you, the least I could do was give all that I could. I got to imagine that makes you proud.
Well, it's very kind of him. Just like all our players, they've given it everything they have. And, we started this thing 4 weeks ago. It's passed fast. The guys that bought in, it's really for them. They're taking ownership on the football team. They're playing for each other. They're becoming a family. One heartbeat, one team, and not only saying it but doing it, and now you see in their actions. I'm very proud of every one of our football players and also our coaching staff.
Hey, Coach, with him making that, heroic comeback in the second half, tell me from your perspective, though, of how you found out the information that he was even going to go.
Clancy told me Deion's going. I said, great, I love it. We need him. But it just goes to show you, man, these guys have done everything we ask and beyond. They believe in, they want to be part of this team. They're having fun. They just want to be part of it.
Yeah, JJ talked about this next man up philosophy. Talk about some of these guys. Anthony Sorrow comes in for Lamar Dawson. He was fantastic. Devon Flournoy making the biggest play of his career. These tight ends. I mean, you got two walk-ons that are out there playing. You got an offensive lineman who's suiting up and playing tight end. Just talk about this, the next man up and the way these guys have stepped up.
Just not blinking. We're going to put 11 on the field and we're going to fight. And those guys are believing in it. You see the guys in the meeting. They're preparing. They're working. And it's opportunity. When a young man has his opportunity, he steps up. He has a little pep in his step. It's fun to see. And especially when they can have success early. When they have success early, it gives them confidence, gives his teammate confidence, and we build upon that.
And, Coach, we, obviously you guys get the win. We all know that. We've talked about the next man getting an opportunity. But what are you seeing on the film in terms of continuity? Because the thing that impresses me the most is not necessarily the next guys getting to play, but how well they played together.
Yeah, guys playing together, guys playing within the scheme, not a lot of bust. The defensive side, it was probably one of our best defensive performances in a long time. We held a pretty good offense intact. The front played very well. Clancy had a great plan. Those guys were going to hit us deep. They couldn't do it. The linebackers are in great position. Just a great overall job.
Yeah, one of those guys who made a seamless transition was Leon McQuay. He comes in his first ever start on defense, gets an interception with the future of the safety position at USC. Sua Cravens and Leon McQuay. How set are you at that spot?
Well, we're happy with those guys recruiting. We thought that we found two of the best young safeties in America. I don't know if they are for sure, but they seem to me that they are. They're great young men. They're well coached. And, you look at the offense, Darius is sitting right here. The job that Clay Helton did, the pieces they put together. At one point, we didn't have any tight ends ready to go. They did just a tremendous job. All the guys believe, and I thought they did a great job.
Coach, we've talked about Josh Shaw and how well he's played in the secondary, moving the corner. But one person that has not got talked about this last week, and the reason why, because there was a lot of action this side, Kevon Seymour. Outstanding game because he went one-on-one, matched up against Anderson, Utah's number one receiver, matched up against him the entire game, 2 catches on the day.
Great job. And he's gaining confidence. He's healthy. When we recruited Kevon 2 years ago, I thought he was one of the best corners in America. He can show his athletic ability, returning kicks and punts like he does. He's very fast. He's a track athlete. Great young man.
Especially with Josh, you've been moving things around in the secondary all season. It seemed like their best game. Do you feel like you found the right mix finally in the secondary?
We're going to find out Friday night. I'll tell you that. But, the guy that really performed well was Demetrius Wright. Demetrius stayed in the post. He did a great job. We didn't get beat deep. Those guys did a tremendous job. And, again, we're going to be tested again Friday night, but I have complete confidence that they're going to do well.
One other subplot or good storyline was the defensive line. They came into the game down by 1 sack in terms of the lead for the Pac-12 championship behind Utah, of all teams. And then they have the goal, of course, and we talked about it last week, to go out and try to sack the quarterback. They come up with 6 sacks. What did you see from the defensive front when you watch film?
Just a tremendous effort. Great technique. Pete Jenkins is with us. Pete has, JR is going to tell you right now, Pete has made our defensive line better. I'll handle the tenacity and the intensity, so does Pete. He teaches them on the technique. It's a 1-2 punch. It's just tremendous having him there. I'm very proud of this young man, J.R. Tavai. We lost a great player in Morgan Brez. You talk about stepping up. He's one of our most productive players on our team. He's a young man, has worked very hard. Just so proud of him.
Yeah, J.R. Tavai, 11 tackles, 2 sacks in that win. A big-time performance from him. On the other side of the football, offensive line's been one of the areas that's been pretty healthy all season. Then Kevin Graff goes down. You sort of had to shuffle things on the fly. How do you feel like they handled that?
Well, they struggled a little bit. Struggled a little bit on some assignments. Moving Max out the right tackle. Andre didn't know if he was a play. He went to right guard. John played at left guard. The continuity between Max and having Max and our left tackle making the same calls together was really hurt. We were hurting some calls, and we got blitzed a lot. We're going to have to make some adjustments this week. I know that Oregon State's going to come after us, but we'll be ready.
And with that, how much can you get these guys prepared for the blitz pickups? Because you got so many different guys playing running back. Of course, it's the hot reads with the quarterback. Mm-hmm. You don't have a tight end. There's been a rotation there. Has that really been hard to sort of corral that part of the offense?
Well, you just can't have a lot of checks in the line of scrimmage. JJ, we just got to keep it simple. We got to do what we do. We got to go on the road, keep it simple. We cannot have any false starts, any holding. We just need to get our assignments. Once we get our assignments down and block the right guy, I think we're going to be fine. We
talked about Andre Haidari when he was a little bit the GOAT, but he comes back as the hero. Talk about the competitiveness. I mean, a kicker maybe not known as always, the athlete, the competitor, but it looks like you got one.
A tremendous job of stepping up. He also stepped up because he was challenged all week. It was very close between Alex Wood, and he stepped up. And I'll tell you what, it went down to Friday on the decision between me and Coach Baxter. He said, give it to him, give him a shot. I believe in him, and he did it. I'm proud of him.
All right, with the receivers that you have in play this week, looks like you might get enough of them back to be able to run a 3-receiver offense at least. How does that situation sort of stand, and how good will it be to possibly get some of the good guys back?
Well, one of the guys we have here is Darius Rogers. You talk about a great young man right here. I'm so proud of him. A great family right here from the city of L.A. We're just so proud of Darius and the job that he's done. Maybe having Marquise back will help. Maybe we'll get some double coverage out there and open up the box a little bit for the run game just to have him back. And, the job that Nelson Aguilar has done, I just can't tell you. I didn't know before the game if he was going to play or not. T. Martin said he's going to play. We throw the first ball to him. So just goes to show you the guys are believing, they're prepared, and they're doing a lot of extra studying. Although they hurt, they're ready for the game plan.
And if you can get Xavier Grimbo back at tight end, what would that mean to your offense?
Well, I'm sure we're going to look good getting off the bus. He looks great getting off the bus, I tell you that. But, just he's a great blocker, a great pass catcher. although the guys that played tight end last week stepped in and did a pretty good job. But it does give us a big athlete at tight end.
All right, well, it's a big challenge this week, and we're going to break it down coming up here with Coach O after this break. It's USC at Oregon State, a Friday night fight this week in the Pac-12. Coming back on Trojans Live on KFWB News Talk 980.
Wilson drops the pass, looks right, throws an inside screen. That's intercepted on the bounce. Comes to Josh Shaw. Stays on his feet at the 50. Still moving forward to the 45. Tackled forward to the Utah 43-yard line.
Only got $20 in my pocket.
The BMW 3 Series is an icon that has topped Car and Driver's 10 Best list 22 consecutive times. Now introducing the newest member of the family, the BMW 320i. With 36 miles per gallon, no-cost maintenance for 4 years or 50,000 miles, and starting at $32,550, the legend continues. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. For complete details on BMW Ultimate Service, call 1-888-311-4BMW.
See a Southern California BMW Center today for a test drive or visit SoCalBMW.com.
Get big savings on a big dinner. Stop by a Subway restaurant and get any 3 regular footlong subs for just $14. Any day after 4 p.m. and all day Sunday. That's less than $5 for each footlong sub. However you mix it up, any 3 regular footlong subs are just $14 any day after 4 p.m. and all day Sunday. Subway, eat fresh. Limited time only. Add $1 for each premium or supreme sub. Additional charge for extras. Prices and participation may vary. Plus tax where applicable. May not be combined with other offers, coupons, or discount cards.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm an over-enthusiastic football fan. We just beat one of the worst teams, but I'm walking out of the stadium celebrating like we just wrapped up a perfect season. I'm so blind with excitement, I don't notice when I step into traffic and you have to swerve to miss me. So get Allstate, where agents help keep you protected from mayhem, like me.
In Los Angeles, call Allstate agent Beatriz Zaragoza. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Are you in good hands?
You may already know that AT&T is the nation's fastest 4G LTE network. And now independent research has confirmed that AT&T 4G LTE is also the most reliable. Whether you're connecting with family or getting the job done, you want a wireless network you can count on. AT&T, the nation's fastest and now most reliable 4G LTE network. Rethink possible. AT&T reminds you to never text and drive. It can wait.
Speed claim based on national carriers' average 4G LTE download speeds. Reliability claim based on data transfer completion rates on nationwide 4G LTE networks. 4G LTE not available everywhere.
Kessler drops the throw, looking for Aguilar, has him at the 10, catches it, dives towards the goal line, and he's in! Touchdown, USC! Great athletic catch, and even more so on the run after the catch by Nelson Aguilar.
Trojans only got one touchdown last Saturday, but it was enough, and it was a beauty from Kessler to Aguilar. Nelson flipping into the end zone. Tonight's highlights are courtesy of 710 ESPN. Back on Trojans Live, Jordan Moore and John Jackson joined by the head coach for one more segment, Ed Orgeron. And, Coach, you laughed about it. Your secondary is going to get tested this week. Number 1 passing offense in the country, and they're good at it. They certainly do it a lot, too. I noticed Baylor's number 2. They've thrown it twice as many times as Baylor has. So Oregon State, they're going to put the ball in the air no matter what.
Yeah, we have a tremendous challenge ahead of us, but we're ready for it. Our line's got to have a great rush. Mannion does a good job of getting the ball downfield. Brandon Cooks is probably the fastest receiver I've seen getting off the football since John Jackson. There's no question about that.
That's what the DVD player on fast forward.
Do they have the sped up tape back then?
Exactly. You have to speed it up a little bit. Coach, with that being said, I mean, you're exactly right. Mannion's sort of the key to the thing. Prior to last week's game, he had 9 sacks, and I was like, wow, they're protecting him, and he's throwing for a ton of yards. Stanford got to him 8 times last week. What did you see on film from them?
Well, they beat him 1-on-1. Stanford's very good technicians. We feel like we're the same way. Sometimes they out physical. There wasn't a lot of blitzes. There was a couple of pass protection breakups that Oregon State did, and Stanford came free a couple of times. But we don't get none of those. I don't know why. But they have a young line, and we have an experienced line. There should be a good matchup for us. But he does get rid of the ball quick. He does throw the screens, the bubbles. They give Brandon Cook the ball anytime they can. And we just expect an explosive offense. We're going to have to score some points. They're going to make some plays.
Yeah, I know they sort of go hand in hand. You really can't have one without the other. But you put the onus more on the pass rush this week or on the coverage? I mean, does it have to happen up front?
It's always on the pass rush.
Says the defensive line coach.
Exactly. That's the wrong guy.
It's always going to be on the rush. And anytime they have a deep ball, I blame it on the rush. But, we have a good plan. we're gonna make them throw the ball in front of us and tackle. We're gonna be in a hostile environment. We just need to be patient and take our plays when we can get them.
You know, Coach, going back to Oregon State, and this is sort of, when I read the notes, I still can't believe it, but SC's had so much problems there. Yeah. I mean, it's not a huge stadium. The crowd's louder than it looks. What is it? I mean, or is it even a concern?
Well, I've been there, and obviously I've been there when the Fog Bowl, and I was the punt return coach, and Reggie was returning the punts, and I called return right twice, and he went left twice and we scored.
That's the sort of the key.
Good deal. But anyway, there's a lot of things. They're very loud. They play very fast on that turf up there. They're a good football team. People underestimate this team, and they're a well-coached team. I think that's the secret. It's not about the stadium. They're a good football team, and we're going to have to go up there and play well.
Yeah, you say well-coached. Mike Riley, obviously a guy you're familiar with. We're all familiar with. Usually you like to sort of get angry about your opponents, but they say he's just the nicest guy in the business. So what's your scouting report on Mike Riley?
Great coach. Yeah, he's just a great coach. He does a tremendous job. He's a gentleman, does a good job recruiting. I've known him for a while. Tremendous respect.
One thing about the Oregon State defense, they don't get talked about a lot either because the offense is doing so many things. They have 21 turnovers. Yep. 21 turnovers, 14 interceptions. They're one of the top teams in the country in terms of intercepting the football. What are they doing?
Very aggressive front. They attack. We've had problems with an aggressive front as far as getting up the field. They 4-3, cover 4. This guy has been there for a long. Beckner has been there for a long time. And they know their coverage well, they break on the ball well, and they get a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
You started the season really well in terms of turnover margin, and then the turnover sort of went quiet, and then all of a sudden last week they sprung up again. A +4 game, you're clean offensively, you get 4, obviously the perfect formula for you. Did you see something as a difference?
I thought the pressure, the guys breaking up on the ball, the other teams making mistakes, obviously, and those are the things that we look for. They come in bunches. We don't go out there and say we're going to get 4 turnovers. We just want to play hard, pressure the quarterback, be in right position, and go after the ball when we get a chance.
Now, here's what's a surprising thing for me when I look at Oregon State. In the past, they've had so many great runners. They had the Rogers kid that was up there, and they had great running backs in the past. They had a ton of yards. This year, they're not running the ball at all. Are they just abandon the run, or is it just one of those things that they're not doing it well?
They have some draws, they have some screens that they can spread you out, and they're able to make some big plays. The Fly series with Brandon is a very big series, and he's making a lot of yards on that. So they are running the football a little bit more than you think they are.
You talked about really addressing that this is a road game. What did you learn from that Notre Dame game, from the crowd, that maybe you're making some changes this week to get them ready for what is going to be a big-time atmosphere?
The false starts, the penalties, the crowd noise. We pumped in the crowd noise this week, and just really addressing those areas. And it's not about the emotional aspect. It's about the technical aspect. I told the coaches, take care of the technical aspect. If we're going to go on a silent count, make sure that we're right, make sure we're doing the right things.
Well, it's supposed to rain tomorrow. It's supposed to rain on Saturday, but a 0% chance of rain is what they're telling us on Friday night. So at least I'm hoping for that. Stay on the sideline. Coach, I'm sure you don't care. You just want to play some football. It's going to be a fun one on Friday night. We thank you, as always, for joining us. And don't forget to stop by your local Carl's Jr. to taste the new Buffalo Blue Cheeseburger, topped with blue cheese crumbles and Frank's Red Hot Sauce. Game on. Carl's Jr., eat like you mean it. These two players who are coming up next have been eating, I was going to say all season, but really recently it's J.R. Tavai and Darius Rogers, some emerging Trojans coming up next on Trojans Live.
Kessler throws, 50-yard line. That's Flournoy, spun around, stays on his feet, gets away at the 40, 35, down to the 30, and tackled to the 28-yard line.
If you're looking at a car, a truck, or an SUV, Ford has an EcoBoost engine for you. Listen to Mike Savage talk about his Fusion.
The Fusion's EcoBoost engine's really quick. It's a lot of power, and I just love that sports car feel. But I still get the fuel economy of a 4-cylinder engine.
Jen Bellotti picked an Escape over a BMW.
When I'm merging onto the freeway, I step on the gas. It's super powerful. You can just feel it.
Joe D'Angelo loves his F-150 with EcoBoost.
It's got as much power as the V8, whether it's from a stop, merging, passing.
The EcoBoost engine from Ford gives you the power of a larger engine with the fuel economy of a smaller engine. EcoBoost. It's miles ahead of the competition. Win a VIP experience for the big game on November 30th. It's the Ford Friday Sweepstakes. Just go to usctrojans.com for official rules and enter to win 2 tickets and an on-field experience. No purchase necessary. Fusion EPA estimated rating of 22 city, 33 highway, 26 combined MPG. 2.0 liter EcoBoost. Actual mileage will vary.
So, you need hot dogs for the tailgate, salads for game day, and thirst quenchers for the cheering squad on the couch. Good thing Smart & Final has everything to make your team happy and score big savings. Smart & Final has low prices like Walmart, big sizes like Costco with no membership fees, plus the freshness of a supermarket in one place. Smart & Final, warehouse prices, big and small sizes.
Now through November 5th, stock up and save on Crystal Geyser Spring Water. Big 35 half-liter bottle case. Get 2 cases for only $8 plus CRV at Smart & Final.
My name is Andrea Lee Greenberg. I walk for Autism Speaks because my son Tyler is the single most important person in my life. Walk Now for Autism Speaks raises awareness every time a city puts on a walk. It is a terrific way to come together as a community, to reach out to one another, to get the message out that these children and these adults are incredible human beings.
To find a walk near you, visit walknowforautismspeaks.org.
Adam Schultz is in at quarterback and drops a pass. Throws into traffic and intercepted by Sua Cravens. 50, 40, 30, 25, 20. Steps inside at the 15, down to the 10.
That's Sua Cravens, a great young Trojan, and we got a couple emerging stars joining us right now. Darius Rogers, wide receiver, 11 catches the last 2 weeks. He's come on strong, and 11 tackles, as we mentioned, for J.R. Tavai last week, including 2 sacks against Utah, stepping up for Morgan Breslin. And Darius, let me bring you in first, man. You had such a great fall camp. I mean, you must have been feeling great going into the season. Then you get the setback. Obviously, you had I guess it was an ankle injury early on. How do you feel now, and you feel like you're finally back to that form?
It feels great coming in, just working hard and going to rehab and coming back to 100% and just going out there and competing once again.
And JR, how about your year? I mean, you started defensive tackle spot, which where you played for the first 2 years, and then now they moved to outside linebacker, and it looks like it's the position you should have been at the whole time. How has the transition been moving from the inside to the outside linebacker spot?
It's been more fun than anything else. The opportunity came up, and I just took it and went with it. Yeah.
What's the biggest difference between the two, playing with your hand in the dirt or what you're doing now, which is standing up a little bit more?
Definitely got more responsibility, but also get a play call, kind of tell Leonard what game to run and that, and definitely get one-on-ones more.
And Darius, we've talked about your season, of course missing some games in there. How is your chemistry with Cody now? I mean, do you guys feel like you guys are starting to sort of look like last week you guys looked to really have it down?
Yeah, man, it feels good just gaining his confidence, coming in and showing him, the young receiver I can come in and he can rely on me. It feels good, look my way and trust me, just trust me and I'll be there and trust the ball being there. So it's a little chemistry been working on and off the field.
For the most part, Darius, like these receivers keep coming in year after year. They're sort of in the same sort of mold. Robert, Marquise, Nelson, they're all similar at least. You're a different kind of guy. You talk about what USC can expect from you going forward and how you would describe your game.
Well, I'm not the fastest guy, but I'm probably the biggest physical, so I make the tough catches, third downs, and fourth down catches across the middle. I take a hit and get back up, so that's probably my style of the game.
And you got those big hands, right? You were telling me in camp, it's radio, so we can't show the hands, but that's just something you were blessed with?
Yeah, I wear size 2X gloves, and, it's just something I was just blessed with, and my dad has big hands too, so, runs in the family.
JR, we've talked about Coach Pendergast's defense and how different it is and how much the blitzes and all that kind of stuff. How long does it really take to get it down? I mean, is it defense you guys feel like you've already you understand it, or is there still more to be learned?
There's more to be learned always. Coming in, Coach Jenkins is definitely helping us out more on technique-wise. Coach P's schemes have always been close to Monty's, and that transition hasn't been so easy, but it's been fun, and when it's fun, it's easy.
Yeah, you not only had to deal with the transition changing head coaches, but you changed D-line coaches a little bit. Obviously, Coach O's still involved, but you went from sort of one crazy Southerner to another. Tell us about Pete Jenkins. What's he like?
It's no different.
Same expressions you don't understand?
Definitely get the expressions. But it's Coach Jenkins is one of the greatest coaches I've ever been coached by. He's coming back, I think, from Philly. And, yeah, it's just crazy how I get to learn from that guy.
Hey, Darius, tell me about how the transition, if you're obviously a young guy, but, now that you're getting the opportunity, you missed a year, so of course you're out of football, but now that you're getting out to it, how does it just feel to be back?
Feels great. It makes me even more hungry, playing with a chip on my shoulder and showing guys, what could have been there last year. So just making the best of my opportunities out there to help the team.
What did you do during that time? I mean, obviously it must have been frustrated not being able to play when you thought you were supposed to. What did you learn from that experience?
I mean, just working hard, man. And don't take nothing for granted. Dudes go out there, complain, talking about football is hard. Oh, man, I missed it, man, that whole year off. So it just pushed me to work even harder, and I enjoy practice each and every day.
JR, one thing that a lot of fans might not know is that there's a lot of Tavais around. Okay, you have a brother at Kansas, yourself here at USC. Jelani is a senior at Maricosta. You have Justice, who's a sophomore at Maricosta. Right. You have Jonah, who plays on my son's Pop Warner team. with all the Tavais, who's the best?
I am.
Oh, come on. Come on. I say Jonah's the best.
I'm gonna say I am, but my brothers get to this point, they're gonna say they are.
All right.
They're just gonna stay humble like that.
Fair enough.
JR, talk about the mentality of this team right now. We were talking about with Coach a little bit. I mean, obviously, when you see a teammate like Dion who does something like that at halftime, and he said, I did it for Coach, I did it for my brothers. What does that mean to you guys?
This family's tight, and everybody's rolling on it. And for Dion to step in like that, it takes a lot of courage, and I praise him for that. Thank you.
And Darius, what are you seeing from Oregon State? I mean, the one thing they have been doing is intercepting the football. They have, we just talked to Coach O about it, 14 interceptions on the year. One of the defensive backs leads the country in interceptions. He has 5. What are you seeing from their opponent?
I see they're a good team, and, they do a lot of man, so that's a lot of opportunities for the wide receivers to go out there and show them, what we do best, and just go out there and play a good game against them. They're a very good team, so we got a challenge in front of us.
Guys always talk about, you have pride in your recruiting class a little bit. You're part of that little select group of 7 that came in the spring, and it has been an incredible group. You sort of take pride that the 7 of you that you've come in and made such an impact, at least 4 or 5, and I know that ones, that are redshirt are still coming.
Yeah, man, we all just come with the mindset, ready to play. We short on scholarships, but we got to be ready at all times, like Coach O say. It's your time.
Jared, talk about some of the other linemen alongside of you. Coach Pendergast's scheme has you guys, twisting and stunning and sort of working together. Maybe you might do something to allow somebody else, George or somebody else to make a sack. How does that work?
We definitely set up our games in third down rushes, and we try to get as many sacks as possible, and that kind of takes a little sacrifice on one part. So, I don't want to tell you the secrets. But
yeah, it is live radio, right?
I'll just tell you, set up our games pretty well.
Gotcha.
You guys are missing Halloween this year. You got any costumes? What are you doing?
Going out to Oregon, play a real good game.
Get a little treats from them.
Yeah. There you go. Some tricks maybe from Darius and JR as they take on Oregon State this Friday night. Kind of a strange place, Corvallis, Oregon. Either you guys ever been?
Not at all.
You won't want to go back.
about to find out. Get any 3 regular footlong subs for just $14 after 4 p.m. and all day Sunday. Subway, eat fresh for limited time only. Thank you to JR, Tavai, and Darius Rogers. When we come back, it's time to talk some NCAA. We've got Dave Roberts in the house, so get your questions ready. Tweet them in now using the hashtag TrojansLive. We might read them on air. Keep it clean, though. We're coming back on KFWB News Talk 980.
Sounds like that's getting worse. From mild ailments to something more serious, HealthNet is here for you. We provide affordable health coverage that you and your family deserve. With plan benefits that include doctor visits, prescriptions, immunizations, and even free physical exams, HealthNet gives you peace of mind. Look to HealthNet for affordable health coverage for you and your family. We are your HealthNet.
HealthNet of California, Inc. and HealthNet Life Insurance Company are subsidiaries of HealthNet, Inc.
Want to help Valvoline Instant Oil Change go pink this October? By going pink, you'll be helping to fight breast cancer all month. Change your blades and change a life by purchasing pink or black wiper blades this October. And join Valvoline Instant Oil Change as they proudly support the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Stop in today, get your oil change, and ask how you can change a life by going pink this October. To learn more, call 1-800-FAST-CHANGE or visit VIOCpink.com. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Quick, easy, trusted.
Let's say you're going to choose between the BMW 528i and a Mercedes E350. But the BMW 528i is faster, more fuel efficient, and comes with no-cost maintenance for up to 4 years or 50,000 miles. Not much of a choice, is it? We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. Speed claims based on specs from manufacturer sites. Fuel efficiency comparisons based on EPA estimates. For ultimate service details, call 1-888-3114-BMW.
See a Southern California BMW Center today for a test drive or visit SoCalBMW.com.
Tasting notes for the Carl's Jr. Buffalo Blue Cheeseburger.
Hey, thank you, Buffalo, New York, for buffalo sauce and blue cheese. Tangy, spicy, vinegary Frank's Red Hot sauce mixed with creamy, salty, funky blue cheese. Hey, it's tasty enough on a chicken wing, but it's a damn revelation when it's on a burger.
The Buffalo Blue Cheeseburger with Frank's Red Hot sauce and blue cheese crumbles. Only at Carl's Jr. Eat like you mean it. For limited time, participating restaurants. Frank's Red Hot is a registered trademark of Reckitt Benckiser LLC.
Trojan fans, each season the schedule is filled with pesky opponents looking to bring you down. But when that yellow truck and the little man with the hammer pulls up to your home or place of business to battle your bug opponent, insects and pests have no chance. For over 90 years, Western Exterminator has been in the trenches, dominating every matchup and every battle of the bug, which is why true Trojan fans know that Western Exterminator is the final word in pest control.
Now back to Trojans Live from the lab. Here are Jordan Moore and John Jackson.
Back on Trojans Live, JJ and I are joined by Dave Roberts, USC's Vice President for Athletic Compliance, and we don't have too much time and so many different things, Dave, we want to get to. We really appreciate you coming on and taking on some of these topics for us. So let's start with the fun stuff, or let's start at the end, really. What will be the timeline for when these sanctions end, and how will that work? And I guess it'll really start next year.
That's right. The actual sanctions and probation are over in June of 2014. So right after our spring, ball season, they'll be over with. So really, this is the last season of what people know about our game sidelines, our practice, all that restrictions. The actual scholarship reductions will last, in essence, one more year. The sanctions apply through our signing class in February of 14, and those are the people who show up, for the next year. So we have one more class restricted to 15 signees, and that'll be over then.
How does that work, though, going forward? Because, I know that there's going to get 15 now, but then everybody looks at the roster and says, hey, I don't know what the number's going to be, but let's say there's 68 or 70 guys. How do you get back up to 75, and how does that process 85, and how does that process look?
Well, it's going to take some time because we'll get our 25 initial counters back with the signing class in February of 15. But with transfers, injuries, people going to the pros, I suspect we have a couple losses this coming year. It's just going to take us a while to build back up. So, we've kicked around a little bit. It may take us 2-3 years to build back up to 85.
When all this started, obviously you came in, a little bit after that. Talk about the structure of how everything is organized. I guess, what you do at USC, so everyone doesn't just blame you for everything, because you're really on our side. I'm not sure they know that, but you're really on our side. But how the structure works and how everything got set up and compliance has really changed in the last 3 or 4 years.
That's right. When I came on board, President Nikias really committed to devote a lot of resources to the effort, and I got a great staff. One of our guys, Paul Perry, is out there in the audience with me. So we basically got about 8 people that work all the time. And what we do is we embed them in the program. We don't want people's hair standing up on the back of their necks. They travel with them. They go to games, build their confidence, and we're a part of the team. So we solve problems. We don't create them. We've had a lot of success this year in avoiding some problems that might have otherwise happened, a lot of rules, Ed. And so it's really we're a part of the team. We don't want to be looked at as the police or the outsiders. President's giving me the resources to have 8 great people that do that for all of our 21 teams, and it's working out real well for us. I know people think about the bad result in 2010, but if you notice, we haven't had any big scrapes since then, and it's in large part because of the great staff I've got.
Well, I feel already threatened by you being here because I got to watch what I say. but with that being said, Dave, what are the most important things that you've implemented that have helped you make the transition for you into the job and for your staff into the job? What's the biggest thing?
Well, I mean, really, I think one of the biggest ones is our guys get to travel with teams and be around the teams the whole time. We only had 2-3 people, that were doing this day to day at the time of this big problem. Now we got 8. So every team has 2 guys that work with them, or a man and a woman. So they travel with them, they educate them, they're really solving the problems. That's one aspect of it. We've been very creative. The NCAA has patted our backs a lot. We've got programs to monitor high-profile athletes to make sure we don't get any problems with high-profile athletes. You've heard of this big head coach responsibility deal where the NCAA wants to put responsibility on the head coaches. So we've worked with the program to make sure our guys are monitoring their program, have an atmosphere of compliance, and they're not going to get railroaded, by someone under them makes a mistake. So those are some of the things we've done, but the biggest thing is really working with our guys, and Pat Hayden and I have gone back. Again, people don't think we, get along with the NCAA, but we do. We spent 4 years talking to them. We go back once a year. We visit with people, and it's paid off. It really has.
We talk about the sanctions, and one of the problems with this story is it just won't go away, and part of that is because you've had so many cases since, and then everyone wants to compare penalties. But maybe if you can explain the appeals process and sort of the way that the penalties are handed out, that it's really just sort of a futile exercise, I guess, to compare it to Miami, Ohio State, or whoever.
Well, you hit the nail on the head, Jordan. That's what happens. We got this big, huge penalty in 2010. And I think everybody thought, well, it's a new day in the NCAA. You do something really wrong, you're going to get crucified. So when, Boise or Oregon or Ohio State or Miami come down and they don't see the same penalty, people are going, what's wrong with this system? Now, I'm the first to say I think we were too harshly penalized. We've argued that, ad nauseum. But those other schools have learned the lesson. They've self-imposed on the football program. Head coaches have been terminated or fired. They've imposed bowl bans. They've imposed scholarship reductions. So when they go into these hearings, different composition of the panel, the NCAA will tell you it's a different case, different set of facts. I disagree a little bit. But the bottom line is, it's a different day and age, and these people have learned from our mistake, which was, we went in there and fought, defended ourselves, and lost.
Right.
And we're still paying for it.
And so every Trojan fan right now is saying, why doesn't SC take legal action?
Well, that's a good question. I was a practicing lawyer for 35 years. Everybody thinks a lawsuit is ipso facto just going to change everything and make it work. So, in hindsight, it's always 20/20. But right now, we got 1 year less of sanctions. If we filed a lawsuit right now, what would it accomplish other than probably making people feel good? It takes 5 years to get to trial in California. I can tell you there's a difference between a public lawsuit like McNair has for defamation and a lawsuit we would bring. We're a member of an association. There's different rules and laws that apply. So it's a tough road to hoe. It's a cost-benefit analysis. We have to deal with the regulators. You can turn around and sue the people you deal with. I can guarantee you we won't get some of the treatment we have. But there's no easy answer to it. But decisions were made 3 years ago to go through the appeal process we had here. You take your case to the COI, you appeal it to the IAC. We lost. So we don't like it. I think it was a bad judgment, but that's where we are.
We've had a bunch of tweets in, and I can pretty much all sum them up together in one sentence, and that's, why did the NCAA hate us? And I think, I guess that my real question, the way I'd rephrase that to you is, what do you think has been the biggest disconnect between the NCAA and the fans, particularly at USC? Where can that relationship get better and maybe a better understanding?
Well, that's a good question, Jordan. I actually think it has gotten much better, the relationship. I can't go into some of the things, but in going back and making these trips, we've received very, very favorable treatment. I don't mean special, but very fair treatment. We've had waivers that were initially denied. We've gone back, asked for review, and they've given us what we wanted because we made the right case. I think the problem is the boosters, they see this point you talked about earlier, Jordan, which is every time another decision comes down, it's like salt in the wound. Mm-hmm. Why didn't Miami get hit harder? Why didn't Oregon get hit harder? And, that's the toughest one. I really can't give you a great answer. It's like, all I can tell you is there's not a remedy for every wrong in the world, and this is one where I got to tell you, we've fought hard. Pat and I went back there about a month ago. We had a scheduled meeting. Thought we were going to make some headway, but, it's hard for them, I think, to admit they were excessive.
Yeah, there's a million things that we'd love to talk to you about. We want to thank you. Tonight's tweet brought to you by Allstate Insurance. Football players rely on lots of coaches, quarterbacks, running backs, and special teams, just to name a few. But for insurance, you only need one coach, an Allstate agent. They'll help you with your insurance game plan. Call L.A. area Allstate agent Cheryl Binns or Shahei Jamelian today. Thank you, Dave Roberts. Hopefully we can have you on again. As I want to talk about all the different things, pay for play, all these things that are the future of the NCAA.
I know 10% of the questions.
I know. I told you that would happen.
Every week.
Hey guys, my pleasure. Have me back. We'll talk about it.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about Oregon State next up on Trojans Live with JJ.
So, you need hot dogs for the tailgate, salads for game day, and thirst quenchers for the cheering squad on the couch. Good thing Smart & Final has everything to make your team happy and score big savings. Smart & Final has low prices like Walmart, big sizes like Costco with no membership fees, plus the freshness of a supermarket in one place. Smart & Final, warehouse prices, big and small sizes.
Now through November 5th, 12 bottle packs of Heineken or Heineken Light Beer are just $11.99 plus CRV. Smart & Final reminds you to drink responsibly.
Think Lexus.
Think South Bay Lexus. Thinking of a new Lexus? Think South Bay Lexus in Torrance. Their knowledgeable consultants will put you in the Lexus of your choice. With a great inventory and with exceptional current Lexus specials, South Bay Lexus will exceed your expectations. For instance, the 2014 IS 250 lease at $349 a month, 27-month, 10,000 miles a year. MSRP $36,997 with $23.75 drive-off. Call 1-800-VIP-LEXUS. That's 1-800-VIP-LEXUS.
Offer ends October 31, 2013.
You may already know that AT&T is the nation's fastest 4G LTE network. And now independent research has confirmed that AT&T 4G LTE is also the most reliable. Whether you're connecting with family or getting the job done, you want a wireless network you can count on. AT&T, the nation's fastest and now most reliable 4G LTE network. Rethink possible. AT&T reminds you to never text and drive. It can wait.
Speed claim based on national carriers' average 4G LTE download speeds. Reliability claim based on data transfer completion rates on nationwide 4G LTE networks. 4G LTE not available everywhere.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm the football your buddy fired through your windshield. The cooler that tumbled out of a pickup and onto the hood of your car. If you're a football fan, eventually we're going to meet. So get Allstate. Our agents help keep you protected from mayhem. Like me.
Are you in good hands?
Start protecting yourself from mayhem. In Arcadia, call Allstate agent Shahei Jamelian today. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Get big savings on a big dinner. Stop by a Subway restaurant and get any 3 regular footlong subs for just $14. Any day after 4 p.m. and all day Sunday. That's less than $5 for each footlong sub. However you mix it up, any 3 regular footlong subs are just $14 any day after 4 p.m. and all day Sunday. Subway, eat fresh. Limited time only. Add $1 for each premium or supreme sub. Additional charge for extras. Prices and participation may vary. Plus tax where applicable. May not be combined with other offers, coupons, or discount cards.
Now back to Trojans Live from the lab.
We are back here at the lab. Jordan Moore and John Jackson to quickly break down this big game at Oregon State. JJ, you know I've been pointing to it all season. It is just a house of horrors for USC. When you go through the history, they have not won a game in Corvallis since 2004, and even that was that crazy game that Coach O referred to earlier, the Fog Bowl, which almost cost him a national championship. And you could argue that the losses in the Booty year and then obviously the one in the Sanchez years, 2006, 2008, did cost them national championships, or at least shots at national championships. So what is it that makes it so difficult to win up there?
You know, it's it's a different place. I mean, when I played, it was the easiest place to play in the Pac-12, in the Pac-10. Back those days. But now I think that what it is they've closed the stadium in, and 35,000 sounds like 75,000. And when they get going with that chainsaw buzzing and the uniform changes, they're going to be in the loud orange uniforms on Friday night. And I think that Coach Riley's brought energy, back to that team. And so it's sort of a similar situation to Utah. When they're at home, they're more confident, they're more comfortable. They think that the California guys are coming up here to play in the cold rain, and they're not going to be able to. They're going to wilt with the cold weather and stuff like that. So it just brings a different confidence in them, and they play way above their head.
Yeah, in that time, the USC has not lost to them at home. So I mean, that's obviously it's playing up there that seems to be the big problem. But they got some guys that can play too. I mean, we talk about this quarterback Sean Mannion, but it really seems to start with Brandon Cooks. This is the number one passing offense in the country, but Deion Bailey gave the scouting report yesterday at practice. He said, basically, Mannion looks for Cooks. He throws it up to him. Cooks brings it down. That's their offense.
Yeah, Cooks is really fast, really fast. And what they do with him is they'll have him, run the fly sweep like Coach O said, and they'll send him deep. So it's one of those situations the Trojans, I think, are going to have to tailor their defense, which they usually don't do, to double team him and do some combination coverage against him. You can't let him beat you because Mannion, who will throw the ball maybe 50 times on Friday and hand it off to him the other 10 more times, he's going to get the ball in his hands a lot because he's such a game-breaking type player.
Yeah, both you and Coach O talked about that fly sweep package. How would you describe Mike Riley's offense in the grand scheme of college football with all these spreads? Where does Mike Riley fit into that?
It's interesting because here's what I like about Mike Riley. He tailors his offense to what he has. And you remember he had some great running backs, the little Rogers guys that were really good. And so when they had them, they went to, they were in a single back and they gave them the ball a lot and used them. Now they don't have the great prolific tailback. Even when Steven Jackson was there, by the way, he's a big back and they utilize him in a big back capacity. Now that they don't have, quote unquote, the great running backs, they've tailored it to around the great receiver. So the one thing I like about Coach Riley is he's not going to force his system on the players. It's still going to be the same 3-receiver type of offense, single back, but he is going to tailor how the distribution goes to his talent, which I think is outstanding.
Earlier this season, they were ready to run Mark Banker, the defensive coordinator, out of Corvallis. He gave up 51 points to Eastern Washington, I believe it was. Obviously, there's got to be some opportunities there for the USC offense, but Oregon State has picked it up defensively since then.
They're better defensively, but the one thing with Oregon State, when you look at it, it's who have they played. I'm not, overly impressed. I mean, they played Eastern Washington, who beat them, Hawaii, Utah, San Diego State, Colorado, Washington State, don't even go there, Cal, but then Stanford rolls in, and they played Stanford tough. So I was looking at the Stanford game to legitimize how good they are. After the Stanford game, when them, keeping that game close, barely losing, I think they're definitely a good team.
Yeah, it's game on for the Trojans on Friday night, and it's game on to make your move today to the Lorenzo, the most talked-about apartment community at the University of Southern California. Brand new upscale student living is waiting for you. Hurry! Spaces are going fast. Don't miss out. Immediate occupancy. Visit thelorenzo.com or call 213-863-4307. Our last segment coming up, and we are going to bring the energy. It's Cynthia Cooper in the house next to her house, the Galen Center. We are live at the lab on KFWB News Talk 980.
The thing that I really enjoy about the Ford C-Max is that it is a hybrid, and I feel very new and relevant.
For Kate Oxman, her Ford C-Max is more than just a car.
I love the technology that comes with the Ford C-Max. It's fun. It's fun to show off that, oh, look, my car, I wave my foot magically underneath the liftgate and it opens up. My perception of Ford has definitely changed buying the Ford C-Max. I've always liked Ford. I like that it has a very family feel to it, but now Ford is sexy and it's got these fun bells and whistles.
The Ford C-Max has an EPA estimated rating of 45 city, 40 highway, and 43 combined MPG. Actual mileage will vary.
It's saving me a huge amount of money, and I just like using less of what I call the Earth's blood.
Win a VIP experience for the big game on November 30th. It's the Ford Friday Sweepstakes. Just go to usctrojans.com for official rules and enter to win 2 tickets and an on-field experience. No purchase necessary.
Continental Tire is driving performance for you. Whether driving to the game, dropping the kids off at practice, or commuting to work, Continental makes the right tire for your vehicle. Our tires are designed with Eco Plus technology to deliver shorter stopping distances on wet roads and tremendous long wear. Plus, improved fuel efficiency that can actually save you money over the life of the tire. Visit ContinentalTire.com to find out how much money you can save or to find a retailer near you. Continental Tire, exclusive tire of the Trojans.
Tasting notes for the Carl's Jr. Buffalo Blue Cheese Burger.
Hey, thank you, Buffalo, New York, for buffalo sauce and blue cheese. Tangy, spicy, vinegary Frank's Red Hot sauce mixed with creamy, salty, funky blue cheese. Hey, it's tasty enough on a chicken wing, but it's a damn revelation when it's on a burger.
The Buffalo Blue Cheese Burger with Frank's Red Hot sauce and blue cheese crumbles. Only at Carl's Jr. Eat like you mean it. For a limited time, participating restaurants. Frank's Red Hot is a registered trademark of Reckitt Benckiser LLC.
Now more Trojans Live.
Back on Trojans Live, Jordan Moore and John Jackson have to be joined by Cynthia Cooper. His resume speaks for itself. Two-time NCAA champion here at USC, four-time WNBA champion as a player, and now the head coach at her alma mater. Coop, how's it feel to be back?
Great. Awesome, great, perfect. I cannot believe it. I'm thrilled. Thrilled to be home. Thrilled to be leading the women of Troy. It's a great university, great program, and we're trying to get back to those glory days.
When you were approached by Pat Hayden and got hired, what was the process for you? How did it go down? And of course, with you saying yes, and how much thought process did you have to put into it?
Well, I'm coming back home. I'm coming back to my alma mater. I'm coming back to where we won 2 national championships, and it would have been 3 had it not been for Texas. Cannot believe that. Anyway, God, man, I'm still mad about that. No,
I was there.
So, you know what? I spoke to Donna Heinel, spoke to Pat, went through the interview process. Donna asked me, was I interested? I said, are you kidding? You kidding? I get to play in the Galen Center. Right. And so I was immediately interested, and the process went pretty smooth. You've got to go through the interview process, but I met the team. It's a great opportunity, definitely a step up, and I'm ready. I'm ready for the Pac-12, ready for the opportunity, and excited about it.
Pat Hayden said this week about both you and Andy Enfield, we're trying to build a program here, not a season. So what goes into that? Obviously, you're a coach. I know you're going to go out there and try to win every single game this season, but big picture, what are you trying to build here?
Well, we want to build a legacy. And the legacy for these players here is not the legacy that Cheryl Miller and the McGee twins left. It's the legacy that Cassie Harbert, that Jordan Adams, they can build now. They need to put their footprint on this season, on this team, and on what happens from now on. And, yeah, we want to win this year, but, we're also building. I like to get up and down the court. I like to make basketball fun to play, fun to watch, and then the W's will come. So I like to win. Did I mention that? Yeah.
Winning, that part.
Winning is fun, right?
Winning is fun, and I will tell you this. Winning solves a lot of other problems.
Right.
So winning brings the fans and brings the interest, and so, yeah, I know it can't happen overnight, but we're working on it.
Cynthia, we've all seen you, at least I have anyway, as a basketball player, and the kind of style that you played, the energy you played with. How do you get that to rub off on the players? How tough is that, knowing as great a player as you were, you're trying to get them to sort of get that same vibe or whatever you want to call that it factor that you had?
Well, I want them to love the game first and foremost. I want them to love the game, respect the game. And then for me, I want to change the culture, the mentality. Winning is an attitude. It's a mentality. It's a way you practice. It's a way you come into the gym. When you step on the floor, when I play with the Comets, when I play with here at USC, when we stepped on the floor, people feared us. They feared us because they knew they were going to have to play the best game ever to just compete with us. And that's what I want to bring back. I want to bring back that energy and pass on that passion because I love women's basketball. I want my team to vest themselves into women's basketball and into winning. I actually like to win. It's kind of cool.
So much so, they say you get out there and mix it up on the practice court. You said earlier, I get to play at the Galen Center. I think you're out of eligibility, unfortunately. We'd love to have you. But, how much does it help being with your playing credentials, getting the immediate respect of your players, and then getting out there and mixing it up with them?
Well, it's fun, first of all, and it's fun to, I will tell you the pros and the cons. The cons are that they still have some old pictures that they threatened me with.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Jerry curl and the whole 9 yards when I was trying to work on my hairstyles back in the day. Yeah. But the great thing is that I can show them what I mean. Not just tell them, not just give them instruction. The great part is that they get a chance to actually push and elbow me when I get out there on the court. And trust me, they do not lose an opportunity to throw an elbow at coach, okay? But it's just fun. It's fun for them. They're more engaged, and then they listen. They want to get better. They are passionate about winning. They're passionate about growing. And that's what basketball, that's what sports, that's what it's all about. It's about growth.
I got to take a trip back through memory lane a little bit. And, when I look at your teammates between, Cheryl, Tina Thompson, the McGee twins, and yourself, is that the best women's basketball team ever put together?
Well, arguably, it depends on who you ask, right?
Who can even compete with that?
Well, I just think people don't know that Cynthia Cooper came off the bench on that team. I didn't start with the McGee twins and Cheryl Miller. I came off the bench. I was a sixth man coming off the bench, and now I'm a Hall of Famer.
Right.
So, that's just how talented that team was. So, arguably, I think we were the best. Now, you look at the Tennessee teams or maybe a UConn team here and there. They could compete with us. We would give them 20 or 30 points. But, hey, they were in the gym. I'm just saying.
Couple Trojans from the 80s. You guys hit the scene up in it back then? What was it like?
Oh, man. You
don't
want to
tell
talk
the
about
old stories.
Yeah. Just the row. That's all I got to say. The row. That's where you had to be. The row in the Kappa House. That was the place to be.
Absolutely.
Well, Coop, you delivered the energy as expected tonight. We appreciate you closing on the show when your season starts. We have a couple road games first, but you come back to Galen Center. Home opener is November 13 versus San Diego State. So get your tickets. GetTrojanTix.com. Let's pack the house for the women of Troy this season as Coach Cooper starts to build that program back up to her days, back to the 80s. Hopefully hairstyles can stay there, but the winning can come up to this decade. We're coming back. We're coming back with our guy with the 80s to wrap the show on Trojans Live.
The BMW 3 Series is an icon that has topped Car and Driver's 10 Best list 22 consecutive times. Now introducing the newest member of the family, the BMW 320i. With 36 miles per gallon, no-cost maintenance for 4 years or 50,000 miles, and starting at $32,550, the legend continues. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. For complete details on BMW Ultimate Service, call 1-888-3114-BMW.
See a Southern California BMW Center today for a test drive or visit SoCalBMW.com.
Sounds like that's getting worse.
From mild ailments to something more serious, HealthNet is here for you. We provide affordable health coverage that you and your family deserve. With plan benefits that include doctor visits, prescriptions, immunizations, and even free physical exams, HealthNet gives you peace of mind. Look to HealthNet for affordable health coverage for you and your family. We are your HealthNet.
HealthNet of California, Inc. and HealthNet Life Insurance Company are subsidiaries of HealthNet, Inc.
Trojan fans, each season the schedule is filled with pesky opponents looking to bring you down. But when that yellow truck and the little man with the hammer pulls up to your home or place of business to battle your bug opponent, insects and pests have no chance. For over 90 years, Western Exterminator has been in the trenches, dominating every matchup and every battle of the bug, which is why true Trojan fans know that Western Exterminator is the final word in pest control.
Want to help Valvoline Instant Oil Change go pink this October? By going pink, you'll be helping to fight breast cancer all month. Change your blades and change a life by purchasing pink or black wiper blades this October. And join Valvoline Instant Oil Change as they proudly support the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Stop in today, get your oil change, and ask how you can change a life by going pink this October. To learn more, call 1-800-FAST-CHANGE or visit VIOCpink.com. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Quick, easy, trusted.
Back to Trojans Live.
Jordan Moore and John Jackson to wrap it up here on Trojans Live, a special Wednesday edition. We thank you for joining us. The game is Friday night, 6 p.m., ESPN2. And, JJ, it's a big one. If this team has big aspirations, I mean, they've really just talked about, the small picture. But if they do have some big picture aspirations, Friday night's going to be the one they're going to have to find a way to get.
Yeah, a huge game. I mean, early in the season we thought it was going to be a trap game because it would be one of those games that's sort of on the road, and as you mentioned, it's Halloween night and all kinds of things can happen, the new uniforms and all that. I think that the Trojan team, though, is in the right place. I think that they're hungry. I think that guys are scratching and clawing to get back. I think they sort of feel, I wouldn't call it desperation, but they feel a sense of urgency. So they're not going to get snuck up on as some of the past Trojan teams that went up to Oregon State did. They'll be ready to play.
If they do get Xavier Grimm or Marquise Lee back, how much of a difference does that make quickly?
Huge difference because Marquise is going to draw double coverage. Xavier, of course, stabilizes the line when they want to run the football, as well give them a tight end that can get down the field.
Well, either way, we're going to be back here at the lab next Tuesday, a special Tuesday show, November 5th for Trojans Live with Ed Orgeron. We're going to look back at that Oregon State game and preview USC's next opponent. It's the Weekender. The California Bears are coming up next at Cal. Tonight's highlights were courtesy of 710 ESPN. Your on-site engineer is Rick Cutler. Studio producer is John Bartels. Director of Broadcast Operations is Ann Beebe. Your executive producers of Trojans Live are Dan Schell and Tom Fior. We thank you for our crowd here at the lab, braving the cold. A chilly night here. It's going to be a little bit colder up in Corvallis, but the football will heat us up Friday night. Looking forward to it. Jordan Moore, John Jackson, good night and fight on.
You've been listening to Trojans Live, brought to you by
BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Visit SoCalBMW.com today to find a BMW center near you. By Valvoline, charge on, but visit Valvoline Instant Oil Change first. Home of the drive-through only change and proud sponsor of USC football. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for special discounts and offers. By Allstate Insurance, mayhem is everywhere. Start protecting yourself from mayhem with Allstate Insurance. By Western Exterminator, providing all-star termite and pest control you can trust for over 90 years. Western Exterminator, the final word in pest control.
Trojans Live is an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports West and USC Sports Properties on KFWB News Talk 980.